Boy, that was a mouthful, huh? Allahu Akbar. Good job there with the name, brother. I'll be waiting for you outside. I'll give you a big hug. Greeting of peace upon all of you. It's a pleasure being with you here. It's wonderful to be in the presence of such a beautifully diverse audience. And everyone knows that diversity is what makes the strength and the beauty of this great country of ours. So give yourself a hand for being here, inshallah. I also commend you for being here tonight because it says a lot about your spirit of tolerance, open-mindedness, and inclusiveness. You guys are part of those that still believe in the human spirit, the ones that still remember the fact that all of us have the same origins, that all men were created equal, and that all of us are brothers and sisters in humanity. And what really separates us are the choices that we make, the way that we choose to live our lives, and the way that we choose to treat others. And in order to treat the others, or treat one another properly, we have to believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that every human being deserves to be treated with respect, honor, and dignity. As our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, one of you would not truly believe until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And for being here tonight, please give yourselves a hand one more time. And give a hand to the people in charge of the city of St. Pete. Mr. Mayor, the Honorable Ken Welch, and as well as the members of his administration and staff, and of course, without forgetting the countless people that worked very hard to put this beautiful and unique event together. So please give them a hand. I'm pretty sure that for many of you that are here for the first time tonight, you hear the word iftar. I'm going to the iftar dinner. And you're wondering, what is iftar? What does that mean? What is this word? It's a new word, but it is a word in the Arabic language. Linguistically, it means breaking something, or to be more precise, splitting something that is solid or something that was maintained for a period of time. And therefore, iftar, technically or idiomatically, it means to split or to break the fast that was maintained for a little while, in our case, a few hours from dawn to sunset. Which brings another question, why do Muslims fast? Why do we fast? And I will mention a few reasons among others, because there are many. First and foremost, because our Creator, Allah the Almighty, subhanahu wa ta'ala, has commanded it. And that's good enough for us. And that's one of the beautiful children recited earlier, chapter 2, verse 183. O you who believe, fasting has been ordained upon you, as it was ordained upon the ones that came before you. Perchance you may attain piety. And that's the second reason. It comes in the verse, every believer, every Muslim has a quest in their life to attain piety. And I ask Allah the Almighty to allow all of us to attain piety. The third reason, fasting allows the believer to feel some of the hardship and difficulty that others around the world that have been deprived because of wars or famine or drought. We feel what they feel, what they go through, the hunger they go through, the thirst that they go through. And therefore it softens the heart and it fills it with sympathy, and you are more inclined to feel for those that are less fortunate, and you're more inclined to helping them and being more charitable. And this is one of the pillars of Islam. The third pillar of Islam has to do with charity. Except that the first is that zakat is more like mandatory alms, but we give voluntary charity. You are highly encouraged as a Muslim to give a lot of voluntary charity. The fourth reason, fasting the whole month of Ramadan does wonders for the health. You guys like that one, huh? Right? I do as well, because I lost a few pounds. My wife is very happy, she's right there. So, you know, you're not gonna give a hand for the few pounds? So seriously, because now you see all the health coaches, they say, oh, do intermittent fasting. Huh? Your health will become better, and you lose some weight, and you will shape up, and all of that. Well, Muslims have been doing that for over 14 centuries, and it does really work. The fifth reason, the month of Ramadan is that we're supposed to fast, and we're fasting right now, is the ninth month in the lunar calendar. And according to the Quran and the Hadith is the traditions, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad that are outside the Quran. According to that, the Quran, the Torah, the Gospel of Jesus, the scriptures of Abraham, and all the other scriptures are actually revealed in this blessed month. Of course, in their respective years and eras, which makes this a very, very special month for all the Muslims indeed, because we all believe in all those scriptures, and we believe that they were actually revealed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is wonderful that many of you came here today, despite the strange name of Iftar Dinner, but yet you still, in the spirit of community, you are here, and you're here to share this Iftar with us. And because it's so important that people from different backgrounds get together and learn from each other. And this is in the words of many of the people that spoke before me, they said the same thing. And I ask Allah to bless them and reward them for that. It is equally important that we embrace our differences, that we celebrate the fact that diversity is what makes the strength of a community and a nation. I think we should clap for that one. It is also a reminder that there was a time in the world where things were a lot less complicated. Human beings got along a lot better. However, the world that our generations have inherited is filled with turmoil. And unfortunately, so many people are being harmed around the world. And if you examine the reasons why, you will realize that these reasons are very futile and pointless if you put them in the balance against the importance of human life, human safety, and well-being. You will clearly see that human life is worth a lot more than the people dispute about. It is far more important. It is far more valuable. It is far more precious than the goals or the agendas, if people only knew. One of the cousins and companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, by the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, I'm about to tell this over, forgive me. He said that the human life, the human being, is the construction of Almighty Allah. It's something that the Almighty built himself. Cursed are the ones that destroy it. And the direction that the world is taking in this regard is a serious cause for concern. The technological advances that mankind has made are astounding. They can be used to make our lives better, and they have indeed. Unfortunately, they can also be used, and they have been used, to destroy a lot of lives very quickly. It reminds me of a statement that Albert Einstein made before, and I'm just paraphrasing. He said, I could not possibly imagine what kind of weapons will be used in World War III. But I can tell you with certainty, absolute certainty, what kind of weapons will be used in World War IV. And it'll be sticks and stones. That's why we need a lot of events like these to promote tolerance, harmony, love, compassion, inclusiveness, despite our differences. And turmoil in the world is mostly caused by intolerance of the other, racism, arrogance. And racism, by definition, is mistreating a fellow human being based on their race, their color, their background, their geographic origins, their religion, or simply because he or she happened to be different. And people tend to forget that, how we look, the color of our skin, the texture of our hair, where we were born, our lineage, what lineage we come from, all of these things, none of us have a hand in it. We did not choose them, nor did we have a say in the matter. These were part of what the Almighty has decreed for us. So therefore, you would be absolutely insane for someone to have vanity and arrogance and to exalt himself based on those things that he has no credit in. He did not do them himself. He was born, he or she was born the way that they were born, the way that the Almighty decreed. And he will be even more insane to mistreat someone based on those things, based on things that none of us have chosen, nor are we able to control. Racism is also operating under the assumption that one race is better and has more virtue than the other, based on what? People's assumptions and biases. When one studies the world three major religions, it becomes very clear that the only one that deserves to be exalted is the creator of the heavens and the earth. That is why you find that all three religions reject arrogance and show serious disdain and contempt for it. The Quran tells us, after relating to us the story of the biblical character Korah, who's in the Quran named Qarun, who happened to be one of the cousins of Moses, peace and blessings be upon him. And he all of a sudden became very wealthy, and he became, as a result, very, very arrogant and started mistreating his people. In chapter 28, verse 82, it tells us about that behavior, how deplorable that behavior is. Allah said, that eternal home in the hereafter, meaning paradise, is reserved only for those who seek neither tyranny nor corruption on the earth. And the ultimate outcome belongs only to the righteous. And I always ask Allah to make us from the righteous. Say Ameen or Amen.
Amen.
And so, a major component for safety on the day of judgment, day of reckoning, is to have humility. And humility opens the doors for a lot of good things. And as you know, they say that vanity is Satan or the devil's favorite sin. According to the Quran, vanity is Satan's very first sin. Let us go back to the way of all the way to the creation of Adam, a story that you find in all scriptures, the story of creation that proves that all of us are related, that we come from one person, the same person, Adam, peace and blessings be upon him. But tonight I will share with you, very briefly, inshallah ta'ala, how it came in the Quran. What is the story in the Quran, very briefly. So first of all, the news from the creator of the heavens and the earth to the angels. Chapter 2, verse 30. And remember when your Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a successor on the earth, Adam. The angels, asked Allah, will you place in it someone that will spread corruption and shed blood while we glorify your praises and proclaim your holiness? Allah responded, I know what you do not know. And when you keep hearing me say Allah, by the way, that is in the Arabic language, that is the proper way to call upon the Almighty, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, simply because it means the only one. The word in and of itself means the only one that deserves to be worshipped. This is the essence of monotheism. And it's very similar to the other Semitic languages. We say in Arabic, Allah. Prophet Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, spoke Aramaic, that's his native language. He said Allah. Notice its similarities. Allah, we say Allah. Jesus said Allah. Syriac, Ilaha, and Hebrew, Elohim, they're very, very close and very similar. So the name Allah is linguistically perfect, cannot be made into plural, which makes it one and unique. While using the word God, you can make it into plural, and linguistically anything that is worshipped can be called a God. So that's the main distinction for us. So Allah informed the angels that he's going to have a successor on the earth. Because the dominant creation on the earth, before that were the jinn. And they were the ones that were meant by the angels because they lived on the earth for thousands of years and they spread corruption. And they were made out of fire. Allah made them out of fire, and he made us, mankind, he made us from clay. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Allah created Adam from a handful which he took from the entire earth. So the children of Adam are in accordance with the earth. Some red, some white, some black, and some a mixture, and some are easygoing, others are rough, some are bad in conduct, and others are good. In chapter 55, verse 14, Allah said, he created mankind from sounding clay like pottery, and he created jinn from a smokeless flame of fire. And by the way, the one that is known in the Bible as Lucifer, you'll find in the Quran as Iblis, but it's the same character. He's one of the jinn. And he was such a good worshipper that he was elevated. He was honored to be able to worship with the angels in the heavens. That was before his first sin. Then came the test that led to the first sin. Chapter 2, verse 34, Allah said, and remember, when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam, they all did except for Iblis. He refused, acted arrogantly, and he became unfaithful. And arrogance is almost always closely related to ignorance. These two always go together. For someone to see himself as better than the others, it's a clear sign of ignorance. Something that Iblis or Lucifer was a pioneer at. Chapter 38, verses 75 and 76, Allah asked, O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to what I've created with my own hands? Did you just become proud, or have you always been arrogant? Iblis replied, I am better than him. You created me from fire and made him from clay. And this is the statement that shows both the combination, arrogance and ignorance. The statement, I am better than him, clear arrogance. The statement, you made me out of fire, made him out of clay, clear ignorance. He assumed that for some reason fire is better than clay, based on what Allah knows. Then came the challenge and the oath after Lucifer, Iblis, who suddenly became Satan. And I'll explain what that means. He suddenly became Satan, and he was expelled from the heavens. I said suddenly became Satan because this comes from a verb in Arabic, shaqana. Shaqana, that's why you find in Latin it's Satan, you have in French Satan, you have in Spanish Satanas, etc. The German Satan. The verb shaqana means being misguided, being away from the truth, being unjust, being warped, and also moving and acting in a serpentine way. Chapter 38, verse 77 to 83, Allah commanded, then get out of it. After he refused to prostrate, get out of the heavens. For you are truly cursed, he said, and surely upon you is my condemnation until the day of judgment. Satan appealed, my Lord, then delay me until the day of their resurrection. Allah said, you will be delayed until the appointed day. Satan said, by your glory, I will certainly mislead all of them except the chosen servants among them. So this brief and very quick glimpse of the story of creation of Adam and that dynamic with Iblis, with Satan, shows two main ideas. Number one, all of us come from one person. We are related. We are brothers and sisters, whether we like it or not. We are, and we have the same origin. We are the same family of mankind. We are considered the offsprings of Adam. Number two, we should not ever be the enemies of each other, since all of us have a common enemy. See it clearly from the scripture. He is our common enemy. And vanity and arrogance is one of the many tools that Satan uses to lead mankind into clashes and animosities. That is why, again, it's a wonderful event. It's a great event that we should have. We should have many of these events. And not just in this community. Other communities should take this as an example and do the same thing. Because the only way that human beings will get along, they have to get to know each other. They have to communicate. They have to share ideas, share food, and we have to share our cultures. And we have to celebrate our diversities as we are sharing this world. And as you know, our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, for those of you that know the history a little bit, he migrated from Mecca to Medina. He was born and raised in Mecca, then he migrated to Medina. Those cities are like almost 400 miles apart. And most people used to migrate on foot back then in the middle desert. So when he got there, the people of Medina, they were the two main tribes in Medina, were anxiously awaiting his arrival. So they were out there to greet him and celebrate his arrival. But there were those that were just curious. They wanted to see what this person is all about. This person that claims to be a prophet. Let's see what this person is about. One of them was a Jewish rabbi by the name of Hussein ibn Salam. He said, I took one look at him. I looked at him. He said, and by the way, the Jews that lived in that area, they spoke perfect Arabic. They were poets in the Arabic language, etc. So he said, I took one look at him, and by Allah, he did not have the face of a liar. The first few words that I heard him say, he said, O people, extend the greeting of peace. That's the first thing that he said. Keep relationships with your kinship, with your family members. Provide food to people. And pray at night while the rest of the people are sleeping. You will enter paradise in peace. So we need to listen to this advice and propagate the greeting of peace, and therefore propagate peace everywhere. If we do, it will be paradise on this earth before we get to the real paradise of the hereafter. Even in the Bible, in John 20:19, it says Jesus came and stood amongst them and said, peace be with you. The greeting of peace serves two purposes among others. Number one, you will, by propagating the greeting of peace, by spreading it, you let a person that you just gave the greeting of peace to, that you're safe around me. When I say assalamu alaikum, that means that you are safe around me. The second thing, it is also a prayer, a supplication that you're making for someone. Because what it really means when we say assalamu alaikum, if you really want to translate the true meaning of it, it means may the peace and blessings of God or of Allah be upon you. So you make it a supplication for that person. Prophet Muhammad also in the same hadith he said, and feed others. And this is a very important part of this event, being able to sit with people from different backgrounds, from different belief systems, and we come together and break bread and share a meal. And we all know that good food. Oh, I'm making you hungry now. Good food. Did you hear that? Good food. It's coming, inshallah. Good food is it breaks the ice, right? It softens the heart. Even they say if a woman wants to bring her husband closer and closer, make him some good food, right? So similarly, good food breaks the ice. Sharing a meal, it softens the heart. It brings down the walls between people, and it helps people connect, have a conversation, share ideas, share their culture with each other, and get to know one another the way that Allah intended. As He said, "O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble from amongst you are the ones that are, in the sight of Allah, are the ones that are most righteous. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing and all-aware." I'm extremely proud and honored to be amongst you beautiful folks tonight, and to be able to share these few words with you. And I thank you so much for being here, and I say peace and blessings be upon all of you. Thank you very much. Have a good night.